In astronomy and astrology, the zodiac is a belt across the sky, extending 9 degrees on either side of the ecliptic, the plane of Earth's orbit, and the Sun's apparent annual path. In theory, the constellations that represent the 12 astrological signs each take up 1/12 of this belt, though in reality, these constellations aren't perfectly proportioned in shape or size. They have also changed in location since the zodiac sign system was first charted by the Babylonians about 450 BCE. The direction of the Sun on January 1st, 2021 would actually be in Sagittarius rather than Capricornus. But tradition holds that a baby born on that day would still identify as a Capricorn. As with the horned goat of Capricorn, most zodiac signs are represented by an animal. The ancient Greeks called their zones in the sky Zodiakos Kuklos, meaning circle of animals, and ta zodia, meaning the little animals. Each zodiac sign also has a symbol, like the arrow for Sagittarius and simplified ram's horns for Aries. These symbols likely originated around the Middle Ages, though their exact history has never been uncovered. Like the many interpretations of the meaning of zodiac signs, it's up to us to discover.
Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, considered to govern from March 21st to about April 19th. Found in the northern sky between Pisces and Taurus, the constellation might be difficult to locate with the naked eye. None of Aries' stars are overly bright. In fact, Hamel, the most visible star, has a magnitude of about 2.0, a brightness comparable to Mars at its farthest point from Earth. Viewers able to locate the constellation may find that its shape resembles a ram, the symbol of Aries. The origin of the symbol goes back to Greek mythology and the ram with the golden fleece. After escaping Thessaly on the back of a flying ram, Phrixus, son of King Athamas, sacrificed the animal to Zeus. The god placed the ram in the sky as a constellation, and the ram's golden fleece was later the subject of a quest by Jason and the Argonauts. In terms of personality, Aries aren't far off from headstrong rams. Aries are characterized as ambitious and passionate, with an unmatched drive to jump right into work. Although this tendency is said to lead to impatience, Aries are considered leaders, pioneers, and go-getters. Famous Aries include Leonardo da Vinci, Mariah Carey, and Harry Houdini. One of the first things to catch the eye when looking at the night sky might be the constellation Taurus. Features including the Pleiades star cluster and the Crab Nebula make Taurus one of the most visible constellations among the stars. Aldebaran, also known as Alpha Tauri, is Taurus's brightest star and the 14th brightest star in the night sky. Taurus is one of the oldest documented constellations. It was recognized by ancient civilizations that included the Sumerians, the Babylonians, and others during the Bronze Age. The constellation is located between Aries and Gemini, and its shape is said to resemble a bull, a symbol prominent in many ancient mythologies. In Egyptian mythology, the deity Apis took the form of a bull, while in Greek mythology, Zeus is said to have disguised himself as a bull to abduct the Phoenician princess Europa away to Crete. In astrology, Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac and is considered to govern between April 20th and May 20th. Tauruses are said to be grounded and normally satisfied with the world around them. As Taurus is an earth sign, they're considered to be focused on comfort and resistant to change. Famous Tauruses in history include William Shakespeare, Karl Marx, and Queen Elizabeth II. Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac and is said to govern between May 21st and June 21st. The constellation is located between Taurus and Cancer in the northern sky and is said to resemble a set of twins, the symbol of Gemini. The head of each twin is made up of a star. Pollux, the head of the left twin, is notably brighter than Castor, the head of the right twin. The stars' names are drawn from the famous set of twins in Greek mythology who sailed with Jason and the Argonauts. According to one version of the myth, Castor and Pollux were made into the constellation Gemini by the god Zeus to honor the brothers' love. In other cultures, the two are represented by different symbols, including a pair of peacocks in Arabian astrology and a pair of goats in Egyptian astrology. In terms of personality, Geminis are said to be versatile and perceptive, with the ability to read people and adjust to match their energy. Geminis may prefer to be in the company of others, much like the twins of their symbol. It's fitting that Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, one of the most famous sets of twins in the world, were born under the influence of Gemini. Finding the constellation Cancer, the fourth sign of the zodiac, in the night sky may take some effort. Cancer is located between the constellations Gemini and Leo, but it lacks distinct visual features, which makes it one of the most difficult zodiac constellations to locate. Those able to find it may note that the constellation's shape looks more like an upside-down letter Y than a crab, Cancer's zodiac symbol. Cancer's brightest star, Altarf, is actually dim. It gets its name from the Arabic word for the end, referring to its position as the end of one of the crab's legs. According to Greek mythology, the symbol is related to the crab that pinched the Greek hero Heracles while he was fighting the Hydra. After being crushed underfoot, the crab was rewarded by Hera, Heracles' enemy, and was made into the constellation. In astrology, Cancers are quite unlike their crab symbol. Instead of possessing a tough emotional shell, they are characterized as sensitive and in tune with emotions. Those born under the sign of Cancer between June 22nd and July 22nd are said to be intuitive and nurturing at their best, but moody and stubborn at their worst. It's no surprise that many famous Cancers, such as the poet Pablo Neruda and the artist Frida Kahlo, are known for powerful expressions of emotions in their works.
Leo is the fifth sign of the zodiac, considered to govern from about July 23rd to about August 22nd. Leo is found in the northern sky between Cancer and Virgo. The best way to spot the constellation might be to look for Regulus, one of the brightest stars in the night sky. Regulus has been called the heart of the lion and marks the bottom end of a sickle-shaped cluster of stars, both faint and bright, that make up the shoulders and head. With the help of a telescope, you can spot galaxies within Leo, as well as the Leo ring, a cloud of gases within Leo theorized to have formed via a long-ago collision or as leftovers from the early universe. Leo's lion symbol is linked to the Nemean lion of Greek and Roman mythology, a creature slain by Hercules and which, after its death, was made into a cloak for the hero to wear in battle. While the Nemean lion didn't stand a chance against the famous son of Zeus, Leos themselves are associated with strength and bravery. Today, they're compared less to the slain monstrous lion than to a lion that's king or queen of the jungle. A stereotypical Leo is passionate, ambitious, and a strong leader. And if you're looking for yourself in the stars as well as, well, the stars, famous Leos include U.S. President Barack Obama, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and astronaut Neil Armstrong. Look into the night sky without a telescope, and you may think Virgo looks something like a box tilted on its side. Located between Leo the Lion and the small diamond of Libra, its brightest star is the bluish Spica, the 15th brightest in the sky. And the constellation, which allegedly resembles a woman with angel's wings, contains the nearest large cluster of galaxies to Earth. If you're looking at your horoscope instead of the sky, you'll find Virgo to be the 6th sign of the zodiac, said to govern from about August 23rd to about September 22nd. Unlike most other zodiac signs, there's no animal representative here. Virgo is depicted as a young woman carrying a sheaf of wheat, an image that can be interpreted as a fertility goddess, such as the Babylonian and Assyrian Ishtar, goddess of war and sex, or a harvest maiden, such as Greek myth's Persephone, whose visits to Earth from the underworld usher in the changing of the seasons. As an Earth sign, Virgos are typically considered to be grounded, logical, and hardworking, which may be why you might find fewer famous Virgos on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and more figuratively, on the ground. Social justice activists Fred Hampton and Marsha P. Johnson and politician Bernie Sanders were all born under the influence of Virgo.
Libra is the 7th sign of the zodiac and is said to govern from about September 22nd to about October 23rd. Located between Scorpius and Virgo in the southern night sky, the faint stars making up the constellation may be difficult to locate. The name of Libra's brightest star, Zubena Shamali, is Arabic for northern claw, as the ancient Greeks considered Libra to be a part of the constellation Scorpius. However, about 2,000 years ago, the Romans viewed Libra as a separate constellation, naming it with the Latin word for balance. At the time, the autumnal equinox was in Libra, so the name was fitting for a time where night and day were equal in length. Libra is symbolized by a set of scales, the only non-living symbol in the zodiac, and is sometimes depicted as being held by Astraea, the Roman goddess of justice. In astrology, Libras are said to be similar to their symbolic scale by harboring a need for harmony in their lives. Libras are characterized as good compromisers and peacemakers, with the ability to adapt to whoever they are around. Famous Libras who have advocated for balance and justice include Mahatma Gandhi, Bell Hooks, and Elie Wiesel. To find the constellation Scorpius, try looking for a distinct S-shaped pattern of stars in the southern night sky. Also commonly referred to as Scorpio, the pattern is said to resemble a scorpion, the constellation symbol in the zodiac. Scorpius holds ties to many early civilizations, particularly the ancient Greeks. The name of Scorpius's brightest star, Antares, comes from the Greek for rival of Aries. Its red color and bright shine make the star resemble the planet Mars, whose name comes from the Roman equivalent of Aries. Additionally, the representation of the scorpion is referenced in many Greek myths. Although the exact details vary, it is said that a scorpion was sent to kill the great hunter Orion, explaining why the constellation Orion sets as Scorpius rises in the night sky. In astrology, Scorpius is the 8th sign of the zodiac and is said to govern the period from about October 24th to November 21st. Scorpios are considered to possess intense personalities and strong, passionate emotions. Like scorpions, they are said to have a tough, protective shell and may find it difficult to let their guard down. Famously intense Scorpios include Pablo Picasso, Sylvia Plath, and Joaquin Phoenix. Sagittarius is the 9th sign of the zodiac and is considered to govern the period from about November 22nd to about December 21st. Located between Capricorn and Scorpius in the southern night sky, Sagittarius can be easily found by locating a pattern of stars within the constellation, resembling a teapot. However, Sagittarius's astrological symbol is the archer, and the constellation is often depicted as a centaur drawing a bow and arrow. The name Sagittarius is Latin for archer, and the name of its brightest star, Caus Australis, comes from the Arabic word for bow and the Latin word for southern. This association with an archer has roots in many ancient civilizations. The Babylonians identified Sagittarius as a mounted archer as early as the 11th century BCE, about the same time that other Mesopotamian civilizations associated the constellation with their war gods or hunting gods. In Greek mythology, Sagittarius was thought to represent a centaur, a mythical half-man, half-horse creature wielding a bow and arrow. In astrology, those born under the sign of Sagittarius are said to be natural explorers. Curious and energetic, their personalities are characterized by boundless energy and the desire to learn how the world works. Famous Sagittarians include innovators such as Ludwig van Beethoven, Ada Lovelace, and Walt Disney. Finding Capricornus, one of the faintest zodiac constellations, may take some effort. Capricornus is located between Sagittarius and Aquarius in the southern night sky, and only one of its stars has a magnitude brighter than 3.0. Although its astrological sign is the goat, the shape of Capricornus is said to be the mythical sea goat. The origin of this creature, a goat with the tail of a fish, is connected to a variety of ancient legends. The Babylonians aligned Capricornus with Ea, an ancient half-man, half-fish god who brought knowledge to early humans. In ancient Greece, some sources associated the constellation with Amalthea, the goat who nursed the god Zeus when he was a baby. Other Greeks connected the constellation to Pan, a half-goat god who attempted to transform into a fish to escape the monster Typhon. In astrology, the zodiac sign Capricorn is considered to govern the period from about December 22nd to about January 19th. In terms of personality, Capricorns are characterized as hardworking, pragmatic individuals. Capricorns may be described as workaholics, whose responsibility and persistence drives them to achieve their goals. Notable Capricorns from history include Joan of Arc, Elvis Presley, and boxer Muhammad Ali. Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac and is said to govern the period from about January 20th to about February 18th. Aquarius's zodiac symbol is the water bearer, and the constellation is said to resemble a figure pouring water. It is located between Pisces and Capricornus in the southern night sky. The names of some of the stars in the constellation contain references to luck. For example, the names of Aquarius's two brightest stars, Sad al-Malik and Sad al-Sud, are Arabic for the lucky stars of the king and the luck of lucks, respectively. These references to luck likely come from Aquarius's rising in the wet season. The seasonal rains were thought to bring good fortune. The Babylonians associated Aquarius with their water god Ea, while the Greeks connected the constellation with a variety of figures, including Ganymede, Zeus's cupbearer. In astrology, those born under the sign of Aquarius are said to be creative and community-oriented. With their unique and altruistic personalities, Aquarians are said to be natural humanitarians who think outside the box to help others. Notable Aquarians include a number of progressive thinkers and activists, including Susan B. Anthony, Rosa Parks, and Angela Davis. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac and is said to govern the period from about February 19th to about March 20th. Located between Aries and Aquarius in the northern night sky, the constellation may be difficult to find due to its lack of striking features. The brightest star in Pisces, Eta Piscium, has an apparent magnitude of 3.6. The constellation, whose name is the Latin word for fishes, is said to be shaped like two fish tied together. These fish serve as both the constellation's apparent shape and its astrological symbol. The representation of two fish tied together is said to be related to Aphrodite and her son Eros in Greek mythology. According to one myth, the two transformed into fish and tied themselves together to escape the monster Typhon when he attacked Olympus. In astrology, those born under the sign of Pisces are said to possess sensitive, adaptable personalities. Because Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac, they are said to blend traits from all the other astrological signs and are highly in tune with the emotions of others. Some of the most famous figures born under the sign of Pisces include Albert Einstein, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Rihanna.